support? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. On to public comment, if anybody would love to grab me that sheet back there, that would be great. If they just wanna pass it to the front, I'm okay with it.
Didn't you see how he responded to me? I didn't want to say anything.
Okay, is everybody, for the first, public comment that signed in? Sure, okay, if I call your name and it's different, just let me know. Ronnie?
Hi, my name is Ronnie. A lot of you guys already know me and why I'm here. I just would like to play something that I heard on the radio a couple of days ago, if that's okay with you.
How, is it brief?
It's 49 seconds, 2 times.
Okay.
That was one of them.
Let's call it at that one, Ronnie. I think about a third of the people might have heard what that said.
I can put it up online later.
You could?
I've got that clip.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, it's not your fault, it is what it is.
I wish you guys could hear it, because it's definitely beneficial for the county, for the township, and it would be good. It would be good for everybody around here. It's something that would be beneficial. It's financially, and they were saying Michigan is the #1 in the nation for sales, for marijuana sales, and they want. Say it again.
And regulation. Yeah,
And-
and regulation, sales and regulation.
Sales and regulation. The other clip was gonna say how they wanna use Michigan as moving forward to for the rest of the nation to follow. Cause we are #1 now, and we have doubled every quarter, we have doubled our sales for income sales for marijuana. So,
Okay, Ronnie,
thank you so much.
Mark Stevenson.
Yes, I'd like to address the board. Last meeting I didn't make, the proposed solar ordinance did not get enough support to be considered, is what I understand. And I'm interested in finding out what is there anything from here? You don't have to answer now, I understand this is, but at any time anybody's willing to talk about it, I'd like to know if there's anything gonna be done, is there something else the planning committee needs to do, or?
I'll get with you on that, Mark.
Okay,
Okay, you gonna be around tomorrow?
yes,
I'll give you a ring tomorrow.
thank you.
Good, thank you, Mark. I'm sorry?
The township would like to know the answer.
I'm not calling everybody.
Let's say, how about, can I make a suggestion that maybe it get added as a topic for next month's board meeting?
Sure can. Yep.
How's that? Would
Yep.
that work?
Yep, that'd be fine. Mary Miller.
I am one of the members of the Parks and Recreation Committee, and I would like to thank the members that we have. We've worked very hard. In the last few months, we've created a name, we've made a questionnaire, and we're interviewing different park companies for playground equipment. So I'm recognizing our members of the board. I got a phone call the other night, and I've heard, it was discussed with me about not letting us go ahead and send out our questionnaire. They would rather have it sent out with the July taxes. Although it was approved unanimously by the board to let this happen. I was offered, or the group was offered $3,000 to take and buy a piece of playground equipment and let it be delayed. As members, we can't meet together, so we did a phone tag. Can't have more than 5 together or it's a quorum.
More than 2.
Well, whatever. So we did phone tag. We all agreed we don't want the $3,000. If you wanna put that 3 towards a piece of playground equipment, we will be gladly take it. But as the board agreed, we asked them to honor their commitment to us, just as it is to you, to follow through and let this survey be mailed out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Mary Hall?
So I'm part of the Parks Committee as well, and it was brought to my attention by another park committee that a member of the board reached out to her and let her know that she wanted me removed from the committee because I asked in a very nice email, and I have copies of it, and even though you were CC'd on it, because I asked when we would be able to have time. It was a very nice email, actually, and this other person on our Parks Committee was told by one of the board members here that I was rude and demanding. I'm gonna read this email right now, and the rest of you can decide if I was rude or demanding. I said, "Hello, board member. At the last board meeting on February 8th, 2024, a motion was made and passed to allow the Parks Committee to mail out a questionnaire to the residents of the township regarding what they would like to see done with the parks. I am reaching out on behalf of the Parks and Rec Committee to ask when we would be able to use the resources in the office to get this task completed. We would like to have them sent out before the end of February with a return date of March 15th. Could you please let me know of a few dates that would work for you? Thank you for your time and attention to this. Best regards, Mary Hall." That was considered rude and demanding. To me, this is disgusting behavior from our board. You have community members that are trying to do something better, putting their own time without pay, their own energy, their own finances into something to do something better for the children and families of our community. And somebody wants to throw somebody off of the board or off the committee because they took that as demanding and rude. It's disgusting and unbecoming behavior.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Nancy Thorpe?
Everybody's kind of snarky and picky and stuff, but I wanted to give Priscilla kudos for an awesome job on the election. I worked at Blackman and I worked at Rives, and Rives was by far so much better and so much, I mean, it was great compared to Blackman. Really good.
Okay.
And so thanks, Priscilla.
All right, thank you, Nancy. Hank Miller?
I abstain a second half comment.
Okay. Sue Silvestri?
I'm sorry, that was a mistake. I thought that was a sign-in sheet.
No problem. Judy Formalo?
Well, I was gonna save it for the second part, but since Mary has brought up the issue of the survey, I have some questions to this committee regarding that survey. And I'd like to know, on the survey, I haven't seen it, but is there a question that asks, do you even think there should be a park committee? Is there a question that says, if so, would you participate?
Mary, do not
Is there
answer.
a question, do you have any suggestions, ideas, or skills suggested?
Can we read the disclosure at the bottom of this?
Is there a
Point of order.
question on the survey
It's a point of order.
regarding the park at the church? And the question being, are you aware of the park at the church? If so, do you attend that park? If not, why? And have you looked at the park in Leslie behind the fire hall? It's impeccable. And it's the best park that I have come across and seen. And my suggestion would be, as a committee, that you contact people at Leslie, find out what they had to do to get that park in the condition that it's in with the playground equipment they're using. Because it's outstanding. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Judy. Okay, Sheriff, would you like to go now, or? Sure. Okay, Sheriff Gary Schutte.
Good evening, everyone. It's very nice to see all of you here engaging in your local government. It warms my heart. So I appreciate you all being here. What I'm here to talk about tonight is public safety millage that you'll see on the ballot this fall. It's really important to talk about this because I want to make sure that the information that gets out to you folks is accurate. Some of you have probably seen the pamphlets that we have handed out. Please look at them, read them. There's information in them. There's also a QR code that directs you to a website that can provide you with additional information as well. I want to tell you exactly what the millage is, but I'm going to do this real short and sweet, all right, so I don't take up a lot of your time and then waste the board's time as well. The election is for, the ballot initiative is for 0.9 mils, so it's a 0.1 mil decrease than what we were asking for the last time in 2022. The overall cost for something like this is if you have a house that you purchased for $100,000, 0.9 mil would cause you to have $45 in extra taxes per year. If you had a $200,000 house, 0.9 mil would cause for you to have a $90 increase in your property taxes per year, okay? The way we got here was through a jail ad hoc committee. And your president was part of that jail ad hoc committee. And what they did was they did a feasibility study first to make a determination as to whether or not the current jail, which is situated on Wesley Street and over 70 years old, whether or not that can actually be repaired and reused. We had two different studies done by two different architectural groups. One was a white paper that had absolutely nothing to do with the county, and they came in and said the jail can't be saved, that it's beyond repair. It would cost us more to fix the current jail that we have than it would to build an entirely new jail. So that's critically important. One of the other things is they said it is not safe. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not safe. If you haven't been in that jail, I hope you haven't, but if you haven't seen any of the photographs, please look at the website that we've highlighted here. We have broken sewer pipes and sewer dripping on our deputies inside of the facility. There's things that are absolutely atrocious inside there that just we can absolutely do nothing about. One of the things that's critically important and which affects public safety is we only have 185 multi-classification beds in that facility. What that means is, if you get arrested, it's the easiest way to understand it, if you get arrested for, say, drunk driving, retail fraud, some low-level misdemeanor crime, right? You don't want to be put in the same cell with some of the gang members that have got multi-felonies and have just been placed in there for murder, rape, or whatever the case may be. Those are different classification levels. Wesley Street is our only multi-classification level jail that we have in this county. There's no other jail. State police don't have one, Blackman, Jackson PD, nobody has a jail but the sheriff's office. Everybody comes to my jail, all right? We only have 185 multi-classification beds. We're constantly overcrowded. Our overflow goes over to Channer Road. There's 252 beds on Channer Road. It's supposed to be for the lowest classification level inmate. It is a dorm style, much like the room that we're in right now with bunk beds in it. You can't put the killers in those kinds of situations, right? They beat each other up. It's just completely dangerous. And you certainly can't put the guy in that had too many to drink last night with a guy that just did a drive-by shooting, right? There's actually statutes that prohibit us from doing that. So right now we're in a little bit of a quandary because our overflow, which is our dangerous folks, are going over onto Channer Road, and that's not safe. Last year, we had 14 assaults on deputies inside the facility. We double any jail in our area. Ingham, Washtenaw, Calhoun, Eaton, any of them. We double them and more on assaults that occur on deputies inside of our facility, and it's because of the unsafe conditions that we have. In addition to that, we had 5 escape attempts last year. Nobody else had one. We had 5 escape attempts. So we have a dilapidated condition in our building. What we did with our jail design this time which is really important. My office, which has to remain in the city because that's the county seat by law, my office will stay the same. We're not gonna tear that jail down. We're gonna mothball 85 to 90% of it. We have to pour concrete down the drains, things like that, so noxious gas doesn't come back up through it. We'll cut all the heat off from it. We'll still utilize the current Sally Port system that we have in the tunnel going over into the court for the secure transport of inmates to and from court. However, what we're going to do is move patrol operations as well as the corrections operations over onto Chandler Road. We're gonna better utilize the facilities we have out there. We're actually going to cut out one of our barracks and make that our booking area where people come in to be serviced when they get arrested. We're gonna reutilize our control center area for our patrol operations division. And then we're gonna build a 250 bed facility out there that'll be multi-classification. What that'll do for us is that'll actually give us 95 more multi-classification beds than what we have right now. And there's a lot of information that I'm giving you right now. I won't cloud the issue anymore, but I can tell you right now that's a game changer for law enforcement in this community. Ever since I've been a cop, which has been over 30 years, we have never had enough space in our jail. This changes all of that. It makes it better for us, and it makes it safer. It makes it safer because we can finally lock the bad guys up. We can lock them all up, and we can keep them in there. If you can't lock them up, it's not safe. And you gotta wonder, why is Jackson got a high crime rate? It's because you can't lock them up. And that's been our problem for years. So this addresses a critical, fundamental issue in law enforcement. It makes us safer, safer, safer. And I'm telling you, it really does. Well, I'll let you look at the pamphlets, and if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the COVID money from Jackson County? Is any of that COVID money coming to the jail?
So some of the COVID money did go to the jail, and I don't know. That is.
For the new construction?
Look, let me explain to you. No, so the COVID money is different, all right? There's strings attached to that COVID money. Tremendous strings attached to that COVID money. What we were able to do is, and here's the deal. What we're able to do is utilize it for like air exchangers, heating and cooling, and all those kinds of things. We put in a brand new it's 2015, new to us, air conditioning unit over on the Wesley Street. We use COVID money for that. We've done the Verigy project, utilizing the money from COVID to put in all new lighting and all new heating and air conditioning out on Chandler Road as well. So there was a lot of strings attached to that COVID money that we weren't able to utilize for a new jail. All in all, we're probably between $3 and $4 million of it that we've been able to utilize. But there was also other problems that were associated with that. One of them was, how do we get that money when we don't have the money to build the jail? Right, so we didn't have enough money to build a jail with all of the COVID money. Even if we were able to use all of it, pool it together, we didn't have enough of it to build a jail.
You'd have got a good start on one.
Yeah, but we didn't have enough, and we have to be able to have enough in order to use it, right? We gotta have it all. You can't finish, go halfway into a project with COVID money. The federal government said, no, it has to be turnkey. So we have to have everything all together, and we didn't have it, so we have to wait until we do the project with the millage in order to get it passed through. And of course, we had to wait for that, and it didn't pass. We had other money that was earmarked to go into it, but we couldn't use that either. So we're kind of in a pickle when it comes to the COVID money. But it is a good question, and it's important to understand that, how that COVID money works.
Well, as I've told these residents out here, I support Gary. Gary, I support you in everything that you've tried to do over the last 2 years. You and I have talked, you were at kind of a disadvantage last time because you had about 7 months to get this thing put together and get it to the ballot. And that was unfair to you.
It was 3 months.
Okay, 3 months. I was giving you, all right.
Wish I had some.
But which was disappointing, and you were at a great disadvantage. The bad part about it is, and this question has been asked of me. It was asked by the other supervisor, Pete Jansek from Blackman, at the meeting I couldn't attend in January. That it was the operations part of this millage, and the commissioners told him no. Well, then Gary clears that up, and the operations is part of the bond.
It's not part of the bond, it's part of the millage.
It's part of the millage, but we have to pay that back. So if that bond's 20 years, right, it's a 20-year bond?
Mhm.
The bond pays for the jail, so the bond is simply the loan or a mortgage,
Right.
right? It's the
Right.
mortgage you get to pay for the
But
jail.
the money that we pay back pays the mortgage with the interest plus operation
For 20 years.
for 20 years.
Right.
Okay, and that's the disappointing part. And one of the questions I have is, on those 14 officers that were attacked, was that Channer Road or Wesley Street?
That's a combination of the two.
Good.
Yeah. Most of them are on Wesley Street,
Okay,
but we have had a couple on, Channer as well.
good.
So if I understand it correctly, the COVID money, you used what you could and the rest of it can't really be used in any other part of the jail. Cause no offense, sir, but I would have looked at the county getting $31 million if they'd have set aside at least, we'll say, $5 million towards the new jail. I would have looked more favorably because
They did
that's
last
in
time.
earnest. That's in earnest, saying, we understand, we're gonna help the taxpayer, we'll take some of this COVID money and set it aside.
And they did. So we did that last time and it failed. All right, so now we have a time frame that we have to spend that money in,
I understand, I
right?
know.
So we can't, and like I say, there's all sorts of strings that are attached to that money. But we did have that money. It was like between $4 and $5 million that was actually set aside in order to go towards the,
So now,
cost
we
of
gotta
building
put
a
the
new
whole
jail.
bill. Now, we're gonna put the whole bill.
Yes.
That COVID money is, for Jackson County, that has been spent as of this point right now, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so that money's gone.
Every dollar is
Gone, gone.
I believe it has, yes.
You know, I asked Corey Kennedy, one of the commissioners for the, he's out to Leone, I don't know what all his, his district entails, if it's just Leone or not. I asked him that question, I said, is there any way that the county board of commissioners out of the general fund would throw any good faith money towards this package to exactly that, show a little good faith? He said, absolutely not. He says the commissioners, the general fund for the county has to take care of any overages that may cause. Well, there's not gonna be any overages, because they're not gonna promote it that way. It'll be under budget and on time, is what it'll be.
What's the interest rate?
It's whatever it is when we apply for it. I don't know what it is today. So the interest rate is
It's the
going up.
market rate whenever they go to market.
Yeah. Yeah, so the interest rates have been going up, hopefully they go back down. So one of the things that's really important to understand too is that what we're presenting today is a scaled back version of what we presented previously. And previously, it was $52 million, and now it's $54 million. And it's important to understand this too. We did our homework on this, folks. And I know nobody wants to pay additional taxes. I don't want to pay them. But we gotta have a jail. You gotta have it. And the situation that we have with this facility right now is going to cost us money one way or another. Whether it's the federal government coming in and mandating that we do something through a civil rights lawsuit, or we get some other hammer in front of us. It's coming, I'm telling you. But the important thing with this jail right here is it is so scaled back that we are still utilizing the old jail that we have, right, in the most fruitful way possible. One of the things that I want you to understand too is Clinton County currently, and you can go on to, I think it's the Lansing State Journal, and you can look at this and look this article up. Clinton County wants to build a 160 bed unit, okay? We're proposing 250 beds out of this. A 160 bed unit in Clinton County is going to cost $67 million. Because we've done this, our homework, and we've been frugal with everything that we put together, we're able to put 250 beds together for $54 million. It's a ton of money, I know it. But That's the cost, unfortunately, of doing business, and we have to be safe.
I have a question. Would you have a question?
Yeah,
Oh.
I just wanted to follow up with Jerry's question of the 14 assaults, doesn't that include like, a prisoner spitting on an officer as well?
No.
Cause that's assault?
No, these are straight up assaults. No, we got a guy in there right now who flings his feces at our deputies daily. We don't count that as assault. We don't, these are, I'm gonna punch you right in the face. We had, a guy, an inmate from the Department of Corrections smuggle in, it was from parole, smuggle in a shank and try to stab one of our deputies. No, these are flat out assaults. These aren't simple, we're gonna spit at you and say something mean.
And are these, do they typically happen upon booking, or when they're in the housing, in their cells?
Most of it occurs in the housing area. So what we have in our housing area, if you will, is an area about half the size of this room, and then offshoots from that, we have our jail cells. Okay, there's no doors, it's all bars that contains them in. We have between 14 and 16 people inside of that unit. And they start to fight, and then we have to go in and break them up, or whatever the case may be, or something happens and we have to remove them, maybe it's for court or some other purpose, and that's when the assaults occur, and that's when the escape attempts occur as well. I don't know who to pick.
Just real quick, this is yes or no. Will you be, if and when this jail comes to fruition, will you be leasing spots in this jail to other counties?
We can't afford to do that. We can't afford to do that. Every bed that we have will be occupied. Yeah, unfortunately.
Or the state, will you be renting beds to MDOC
No.
again?
We've never rented beds to MDOC since I've been there. But one of the things that's really important to understand though, is if we have a violator of parole or probation or something like that during the course of, them being out, we will house them until they either make a determination if they're going to prison or what have you. But we're not housing people from there.
Do they pay for that?
They do. And it's a measly amount.
Right.
It's like between $35 and $65 a day, depending upon the circumstances. And it doesn't pay for the cost of incarceration.
Is it any way possible, if the prison on Cooper is empty? My husband used to work in the data processing part. Is it any way possible you could use that facility for jail?
No, ma'am, and here's the reasons why. So a prison is based on movement, okay? When you bring inmates in, that's where they live, right?
Yeah.
So that's their housing, and they have separate medical, they have separate chow hall, they have a recreational yard, they have all these different things because they live there. Jail's different. Jail's a pretrial detention area. So the people that I have in my facility have not been found guilty of a crime yet. Some of them have, very few. But most of them are awaiting trial. They're innocent until proven guilty. So we take services to them. So everybody is locked up into a cell, and then we bring them food, we bring them medical if they need it, and then we take them to court if they need to be taken to court. So it's a completely different setup between jail and prison. And in addition to that, we explored as to whether or not we could utilize maybe a portion of the jail, of the old prison over off of the Cotton facility, because they had set aside a wing out there. And if we rehabbed it, is there something that we could do with that? And there's a state law that prohibits us from intermixing those inmates. So we can't do it.
It'd be nice though.
It'd make it a lot easier on me, I'll tell you that. I'm looking for the easy way. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes, ma'am.
Would you say that drugs are the main reason for all this crime?
I think it's a huge driver. I don't think it's the main reason.
What kind of drugs?
There's
kind of
a ton
drugs?
of drugs out there. Yeah, I mean, what we have really right now is an epidemic of mental health problems too in our facility. I would say,
She's pushing
I would say
hard, isn't she?
exacerbated by drugs, but not necessarily drugs causing all of that stuff. So we used to, when I was first a police officer, we used to have
Bad
state-run
mental health is
mental
what
health
causes you to
facilities,
use
right?
drugs, ding dong.
Over in Ypsilanti and all, right? Well, they closed all them down. I think the last 12 were closed down in 1997. And, you know, almost immediately, jails were overcrowded.
Yep.
Almost immediately. And that's really a huge issue that we have right now. And, you know, trying to contain those folks, like, I mean, I've got 3 guys in my jail right now in downtown that defecate and then spread their feces all over the walls, all over their own bodies. They throw it at the inmates, they throw it at each other, they throw it at the deputies.
Why are they not in a mental area?
We don't have any. We don't have any. And that's been, I'll tell you, you know, then, I'm sorry, Jerry, I told you 10 minutes, and here I am. And I'll get out of
That's
here.
another
But
question. Do you believe?
that's been a pain in my rear side ever since. And it's just, it's exacerbated every year. You know, we don't have a homelessness problem as much as we have a mental health problem. Most of those folks that are homeless in Jackson have severe mental health issues, and a lot of them have been in my facility, they walk right back out. You know, the guy that, I'll just tell you a real quick story and I'm all done.
I got one more question.
So the guy that we have in there right now that I was telling you about, one of them that was throwing feces, he's really not any criminal charge. So how's he in jail, right? So his mother is convinced, because of his mental health, that he's going to kill her, and he may. I read the reports. She has a personal protection order on him. He has nowhere to go. He can't work, he can't do anything. So he violates the personal protection order by going and seeing mom. As a result, it's a civil order he violates, he comes to jail. He gets 90 days. He gets done with his 90 days, he walks out, he goes right over to mom's house and he sits on her porch again. He wants to come back. He's got nowhere else to go. We've played that game with him 3 or 4 different times now. And he's rubbing feces all over the place. He screams and hollers at the top of his lungs. You know, the deputies they eat in their booking area. He's right across from them. That's all you can smell. You know, I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that you live in the facility that we have. A new facility has air exchangers, takes all that stuff out. We have padded cells. There's different things that we can do. And that's kind of where I'm
We
at.
just don't see that.
Carol?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're thinking 0.9 mils for 20 years?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that there was also operations involved in that 9 mils? Or
Yes.
0.9 mils?
Yes.
So after the 20 years, how are you gonna pay for operations?
So that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
So the Channer Road facility, the one that we're proposing we build an addition onto, with this, the Channer Road facility, when it was built, it, put us, it had the operations cost of the Channer Road facility built into that millage.
Okay.
So that millage expired, and we collect on that millage, the end of that millage, at the end of this year, it's over. So that millage, being that millage has expired, we will then have a $1.5 million deficit in the county budget as a result of that. So you're simply replacing an old millage with a new millage. So this is actually, even though it says 0.9 mils, it's actually an increase of less than a half a mil. It's actually an increase of 0.4 mils, because the one that just expired was 0.5 mils that built the Channer Road facility.
Well, and I'm just going to tell you too that, in a past life, I was a state employee, and I've been in 70-year-old jails and prisons, and totally understand my pride.
Thank you.
I have a question. What happens if this millage fails? What is your backup plan?
So after the last millage failed, we began to do some rehabbing on our facility. So the couple $1 million that we had that we were gonna use to build the other jail, We dumped into the jail that we have right now, just to try and keep things afloat. So part of the issues that we have is that facility, because it's so old, built in the 50s, was a nuclear fallout structure. And as a result of that, it's got 2-foot thick, solid concrete walls, and our radios don't work inside of it. So we had a real issue of safety with our deputies inside and the assaults and the problems that we're having. So we put a really expensive antenna and repeater system inside there. It cost us $20,000, $35,000, something like that. I can't remember the last bill on it. It just kills me because it just kept going up and up and up, because it didn't work and it didn't work and it didn't work, because it doesn't penetrate those walls. So we've done that. We repaired the roof. We repaired the locks. Our locks are the old Folger Adams style locks that require the great big huge keys. And they were breaking. One lock cost us $6,500 to repair. There's only 4 people in the entire country that can repair those old style locks. So anyway, we did all of this different stuff. So, you know, dare I say, we have our head above water right now with where we're at, but we will just have to go on with status quo, and then we'll have to figure out how to eliminate $1.5 million. So what does that look like? It'll be up to the county commission. They'll probably take it, I don't want to speak for them, but this is my hopes and dreams, but they'll probably take it from the entire county. I'm hoping that we'll just be a portion of it, because if they take 1.5 million from my budget, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be a huge detrimental effect on how we operate.
So if you build onto Channer, are you gonna transfer the inmates to court each day from Chanter?
So,
And how are you gonna do that?
So one of the beautiful things about COVID, maybe the only thing about COVID that actually was nice, is we realized that we can do our non-confrontational or non-adversarial hearings over Zoom, over the TV. So most of our hearings are non-adversarial. In other words, pre-trials, pre-cons, you know, different kinds of meetings and making determinations, even pleas and stuff, because it's non-adversarial. Adversarial proceeding is when the one attorney is arguing and the other attorney is arguing. That's a trial. And so we don't have many trials. We have trials, but we don't have many. Not all the inmates go to trial. They usually plea or whatever the case may be. So most of our hearings can be handled via Zoom. They can be handled in different electronic ways. We've actually, with some of that money that we're talking about, we actually put up these things called Tyler booths. And they're soundproof booths that you can go into with an iPad and hook into the internet on, and then actually talk to their judge, talk to their attorney, and everything else, so that we can conduct those hearings. We would do that in much the same way over on Channer Road. So we still transfer, even today, about 20 different inmates going back and forth from Channer Road to Wesley Street. I don't see an uptick in that. It'll be about the same.
If you're going to, like, if you tear down the Wesley jail, what are you gonna do with the clients that are reprimanded to jail?
So we're not tearing down the Wesley Street jail.
It costs too much. You would just close it up, but you wouldn't be, I mean, if it doesn't have, if you concrete all the drains and things, you couldn't place people there, right?
We won't place people in there no more.
But where would you put them pending transfer to Chanter?
They would, well, we have holding cells. There's holding cells in the court too. So yeah, so if we had to hold people, you know, until they were transported over, we have holding cells right in the courthouse. So we would hold them there, and then when the transport van arrives, we would take them through the tunnel down into the Sally Port where the transport van is, load them up, and then take them to Channer. That's what we do right now.
Do you have enough holding cells?
Oh yeah, yep, we do. Yep.
Okay. All right, Gary, you gotta go.
Yes. Thank you so much, Gary.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, folks. Appreciate
Can
your
I
time.
exercise my 3 minutes here?
I'm sorry?
Could I exercise my 3 minutes that I both time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Hank, go ahead.
My name's St. Miller. I've been a citizen of Rives for more than 50 years. I live on a Centennial farm now. A while back, I attended a board meeting that was working on the budget. I wanted to see where our money was going, it come to light in that meeting that we have 3 parks that we maintain. I couldn't believe that. I investigated a little bit, I found out where the 3 parks are. And if any of you don't know where they are, this open field is one of them. The other one is over behind the fire barn, and the other one is out on Territorial Road. It's just a vacant path and vacant land that we mow and maintain. That surprised the heck out of me, and as I looked around, especially the one behind the fire barn in Rives, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. It's falling apart, it's dangerous. We are gonna get sued if some kid comes over there and cracks his head on that exposed concrete, get a sliver from the, I'm sorry.
No,
Oh, okay. I ran into what I believe was one committee member and a few concerned citizens who were trying to do something with us. Since then, I've been a little bit closer to it to see what's going on. I've been to all the parks. I've visited some of the other parks in the area. I haven't been to Leslie.
please do.
Okay. I don't think it's an issue of trying to see what's the best idea. It's to do something with what we have right now. This committee that's formed, to me, is just, I guess, one board member and concerned citizens. I would do everything that you can to try to help them do something with the parks that we have. I mean, it's, no offense, it's disgraceful.
Okay, well, thanks, Hank, appreciate it. Okay, public comment is closed.
Oh, what about mine?
I assumed it was on the second one.
No, it was for this.
All right, go ahead.
I know you were not at the last meeting, Jerry, and I want to make sure that everyone is well aware of this, but I did get the legal invoices, and it turns out that we spent over $600 talking to the lawyer about one FOIA. That FOIA was actually for planning commission meeting minutes, election meeting minutes, things that are not on the website yet, but some of them have been approved for about 2 years, as well as 2 completed FOIAs that have already been redacted, labor's already done, just needing copies. And I got an extension letter on January 19th. And I did circle it.
We don't take things, we have to approve if we're taking things to the board.
Okay, Priscilla. So this extension letter is dated for the 19th of January. And it says 10-day extension, so if they can grab all the stuff I asked for. And if you look at the legal bills for January, Chris Patterson charged us $199.50 to finish an extension letter that he was not done with until the 21st of January. So how did I receive it on the 19th, and why did we pay the lawyer $200 more to finish a letter that I still haven't seen? And a 10-day extension would imply that even the lawyer assumes I'm going to get those documents at the end of it, because everything was public record. I didn't ask for anything weird. I didn't ask for any sort of digging. I just asked for these to be copied. And we are paying the lawyer literally over $600 for one FOIA that I never even got. And then at the last meeting in February, there was an appeal held, even though I didn't ask for one, which is also against the FOIA. And the board upheld the decision to deny the fee waiver and apparently the documents, because I still don't have them. So I'd love to know, actually maybe you guys can address it tonight, why it is that we are paying Chris Patterson $285 an hour to write letters that never actually get sent. Because I got the letter on the 19th of January, but Chris Patterson was still working on it on a Sunday for another almost $200 worth of his time. I don't know where that letter is, and not giving me public records that are permanent public records is absolutely against the law. So maybe you guys can add that to the agenda tonight and discuss what's happening. I know, Jerry, now you're not allowed to call the attorney without permission, but I'd love to know what the attorney thinks of all this and what the township thinks about us spending money for him to write letters that never even make it to me, because our FOIA coordinator is preemptively sending a draft over that Trent Cunningham finished on the 19th. So just a waste of money, $600 for one FOIA, and I didn't even get anything.
Thank you, Jo Beth. Okay, moving on to ARPA. Discussion and possible action. ARPA stands for COVID money. Priscilla, I did not get the amount that we have, 69,
No, that's good. $70,513.29.
$70,513.29. Okay. In the process of, what we're trying to do is we're trying to close out the, ARPA funds, the COVID money, by the end of March. That way the paperwork, we only have to file one more time. We know we have, some road options, which, Jim Cole had put together for us, and the one that jumps right out there that gives us, enough leeway would be the Rowell Road between Rives Junction and Churchill. There's two options. The second option is to skip pave approximately 3,500 feet. This connects the existing skip paving areas and will greatly increase rideability in comparison to Cooper and Losi, if a chip and fog seal is applied in 2025. The estimated cost on that is $108,794, with our portion being estimated at $76,156. Then that way, we would still be responsible for paying the difference out of the general fund when the time came. But this way, we could write that check prior to the end of the month. That way, it's done, it's over with, and we have to file one more time on the ARPA funding.
How much do we have in the roads right now?
Well, it doesn't matter, because this wouldn't come out of the roads, this would come out of ARPA.
No, I'm just asking that question, so that we can find out how much more we can pay.
Well, we can out of this year. We've already spent this year's budget. So we'll be working on that when we meet, the end of the month. We'll be working on next year's budget. And then that will all, anything over this 70,000 would come out of general fund, out of the road budget for 24-25. And like I said, that's the one project that we can pay most of it out of the ARPA funding.
Does everybody else from the crowd have a copy of the budget?
I don't think they do they?
What?
The general public doesn't have a list of all the roads.
Want to read them all?
No, I can. Zion Road between Berry and Cooper. That would be an additional 500 feet of paving, skip paving, and chip fog and seal, 2024, and the estimated cost $98,100. Our share would be $68,670. Easton Road, which would be between Berry and Territorial. That would be a chip and fog seal, would be $82,010. Township share is $57,407. Easton Road, between Cooper and Berry, would be 2,200 feet of skip paving. That's option one. Our portion would be $31,000. Option two on that is skip pave approximately 22, apply the chip fog seal. Our portion would be $75,990. Option three would be to skip pave approximately 6,500 feet. That one is, our portion would be $103,000. And then Browell Road, of course, has two options, one of which is, only skip paving 1,500 feet. Those would be the worst areas, and then, that would be all that would be done, that's $27,000. Jones Road from Henry Road to the township line, 280 feet of skip paving. Filling some potholes.
And chip and fog too.
Yeah, chip and fog seal and various potholes. We're looking at $32,000 our portion. Darling Road, which is a small, small dead end. Yep, that one would be a chip and fog seal. And our portion would be $13,911. So that would be my recommendation. And these numbers came from Jim Cole at the county. I don't call him and tell him what roads. I call him and ask him, I need options. Where do we need them, where does the attention need to go? And he comes back and gives me this list. And of course, we still got a lot of roads out there that are that need repair, and a lot of those are county roads, which I've asked the county, for instance, Territorial Road between Berryville and Lansing Ave, that section of road is horrible, and it's been that way forever. Main Street, Wood Road out to Dixon, you know, that's Tompkins, but we're on them about them, and they always tell us that they don't have the money. So I asked them, I said, could we, because those roads are in bad shape, could we front the money and pave that road? Your responsibility, but if we were to front the money to pave that road, would you give us credit on other roads that are ours to be paved at a later date? Well, absolutely not. So, you know, and it was just a question. Obviously, I can't speak for the board, but, you know, it's you know, like Main Street and Wood Road, I mean, our portion of that would be, you know, 150,000 probably. And, you know, and it's a road that's traveled a lot. Well, the county says no, they won't reimburse us for it, or let us use that on a different road, so. So that's what I'm asking the board to do, is, approve option 2 on Browell Road. So I would like to make that in a motion, that we approve the balance of our ARPA money, $70,513.29, to be put towards option 2, Browell Road, skip pave, approximately 3,500 feet. And our portion is estimated at $76,156. Is there support?
Can we,
Is there a support? You support it? Any discussion?
Yes, then the 70,000 from the ARPA be reduced for the, roads for the next budget.
When we do the budget, you wanna basically deduct that off of what we would anticipate?
Yeah, so we
Okay.
can put that.
You and I will be going over that budget, soon, so let's, keep that in mind as you, proceed to beat me up over that. Oh, I got something for you too.
They don't have to approve giving each other rubber bands.
Okay, based on the, estimate. Yeah, based on the estimate, those estimates usually come in short. Jim's always done a good job of anticipating a high. Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna be pretty close on that. So, any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll roll call this one. Christine?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Bryce? I'll vote yes, motion carried. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, moving on to number 6, surety bond possible discussion. We've had discussion with, Colleen at the, Decker Agency, and I'd like to make a motion to have the Decker Agency submit prior clerk Judy McCord's surety bond, along with proper documentation to be added with the prior treasurer Janine Teskey's surety bond for the bonding agency to determine which bond will be held liable to cover the loss of Rives Township related to the overpayment of payroll. Is there support?
I'll support.
Any discussion? Yeah, what's happened is, when Colleen got a hold of Priscilla, she got a hold of me, asked us some questions, which I, answered the questions. One of the things was, was Judy aware of it? Yes, she was. She had told several people that she was aware that this was happening, and that's when Colleen had, requested that we probably need to look at Judy's bond and not just Janine's. It is what it is, and there again, I look at this as I have everything else. Send it in, they're gonna make the decision, they're gonna make the determination. Right or wrong or indifferent, they're gonna make it. So that's my opinion on it. So, if no further discussion, we'll roll call. Bryce? Christine?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, motion carries. Okay, Parks and Recs, possible discussion. Bryce, I had, several conversations with Mary Miller over this last, probably most of the week. Couple, 3 days. And what she had stated there, which obviously she has, communicated with you guys on the committee, that I wasn't here last month, obviously. And and I told Mary that I would really like to convince the board not to spend $3,000 in stamps when we maybe could spend $7,000 or $8,000 on some equipment.
Thank you.
Okay, so that
That was
we
Priscilla's idea.
that $3,000 when it's, for stamps, it's gone, or at least if we could have equipment. So, after talking with Mary, she felt that she might be able to, with you guys working on it, that you guys might be able to get something put together before the end of the month.
You're preaching to the wrong person.
Right.
That's the one
She's the one that pushed the stamps.
They passed in May.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I know,
I mean, I
right.
can resend that motion.
Well, I mean, right, well, no, I'm communicating with you as the head of the Parks Committee. You're the liaison between the Parks Committee. No, you're like Christine Beecher. She's the liaison to the PCs.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so that's why I'm talking to you. So what I had talked to Mary about was putting something together to get to us before the end of the month on something. I'm not saying we gotta have a whole plan, but get something
Jerry,
where we can spend some money.
You and I
Mary-
did not discuss that. You offered me $3,000 to buy one piece of playground equipment.
No, Mary, I said I didn't care if we spent $10,000.
No,
Okay.
you said 3, Jerry.
Okay, I misspoke then. I thought I said it, but
And I
either way,
said-
okay, either way. So what I'm saying is, and I'm saying 3,000,
All liars.
what do we have in parks, 12,000 and some change? Not quite that high, okay. So, my point being is, well, and she'll tell us here in just a second. So, get something put together before the end of the month, and if I misspoke and said 3,000, Mary, that's fine. But I'm saying,
Speaks a lot.
if we find something at $7,000 or $8,000 and you guys wanna buy it, get it to us, get it to the board, so that we can approve it before the end of the month,
Jerry,
okay?
I told you, we communicated amongst us on the phone because we've been
Yes.
reprimanded.
Yes.
And we all agreed that we did not want to do that we wanted to go ahead and have the survey sent out. So the board voted on it in February. We would like the board to honor their commitment to go ahead and do that, please.
What do we have left?
I mean, originally, we just wanted to do it on Facebook. It was her idea to send out. She pushed that, not us.
A little over 10.
A little over 10,000, okay. There again, Mary, I guess I was confused on your, public comment. Because after you and I had talked, I thought that we were good with that.
No,
Okay.
I told you we talked.
Yeah, no, I knew you did, but I guess, like I said, I was confused on what you had said. So I guess, we have to make a decision, at the board, do we wanna spend $3,000? There again, you guys made?
I'm gonna try to make the motion to resend my $3,000, motion for the parks
For postage?
for postage as of now.
Yeah. Is there a support on that?
If you're gonna make a motion, you just got to let them
You
know.
voted on that and approved it.
How do you put two motions in at once?
Well, not only that, let's run the township down a little bit more.
No, where's the point of order here? We're already in a motion right now, aren't we? We're in a motion.
I don't even know what's going
Yeah,
on.
we are in.
Point of order, we're in a motion. You can't start a second motion. Yes, thank you. Robert's Rules of Order, throw it at him.
We're not worried about that at this point.
We suggested
Put a motion in when somebody's already making a motion.
Exactly, it's a point of order thing.
Right, that was.
Spending $3,000.
Do they control if they say Priscilla?
Okay, okay, everybody, please, I appreciate your input, but just calm down and.
Well, let's do it right.
I'm sorry, I don't know who you
Let's
are,
do it
sir.
right.
Who are
She
you?
can't put a motion in.
Who are you,
We're trying to
sir?
put a
Identify
motion.
yourself.
Huh?
Identify yourself.
He doesn't have
Jeff
to.
Sykes.
He doesn't have to.
I just asked the question.
The simple thing is.
Okay,
you were making a
listen,
motion.
listen,
She can't start over
listen,
another one.
listen, let it go. We're good, okay?
Well, do your jobs right, for Christ's sakes.
Sir, if you're gonna continue to interrupt, there's the door.
I don't have to, it's a public hearing, or a meeting, I can be here.
You can't be interrupting the meeting. You can sit there and listen,
Do it right.
okay? So you're here to observe.
Where's that book?
To make sure you're doing it right, not.
I should have worn my shirt.
I don't even know where we were at.
In the middle of two motions, apparently.
And
Well,
we're making a motion. Anderson.
What do you wanna do with the $3,000? With the stamps, do they want equipment, or do they wanna mail their thing? But
Well, I would like to
as
see,
a
personally,
board,
I'd like to see.
see something other than, bathrooms and drinking fountains, we might need to.
Well, I understand that, but we're not at that point yet. I mean, we're not there. There again, you guys made a motion, you guys voted on it last month. Alls I'm saying is, I would rather see the $3,000 be put towards equipment as opposed to be put towards stamps.
That's what I said last
Okay?
month.
That's what I would like to see. If you guys vote, you guys don't wanna move on
That's
from
what I
that,
said last
then-
month, but she
then it's done,
insisted
it's
on
over
sending
with.
it out.
That's fine.
So then we can make the motion to give them their $3,000 for equipment. If they want equipment instead of stamps.
No, that's what was proposed last month.
Taxes go out in
It sounds to me
July.
like you got 10 grand,
They can
3
work
grand
on this
for
Parks
stamps and
Rec.
7 grand for equipment. Am I wrong?
Take it all.
Is that, am I not understanding?
We're already halfway through the summer. So they wouldn't get anything accomplished this
Bryce.
year, there has to be.
Well, they're not gonna get much more out of it, they're only gonna get so much out of this.
It was her idea. We just
Hey,
wanted
guys,
an
keep it down,
electronic
So they're at the end of
survey.
one budget, going into another budget, they can get equipment at this budget, equipment at this budget, they would have.
And that's what I was trying to do, was to use part of this budget, towards equipment, and then next year's budget towards equipment.
And that's why, I'm not on the committee, but I would say, let's take our money and
You don't think that they don't want brand new swing sets, or?
Well, then what else do we need? We don't know whether they want anything here.
But why don't we?
Bryce.
But it would be our assumption that we're gonna keep Main Street, right? That would be
Yeah.
our assumption. Right, that's what I'm saying. But wouldn't we be better off to spend $6, $8, $9, $10,000, $5,000, whatever, on Main Street for a piece of equipment, as opposed to $3,000 in stamps? Kids can't play on stamps.
I know, but it would be nice if I could get some cooperation. I've been trying to get people to get back to it, but you can go and meet and do this stuff.
Well,
Maybe this is where
we're at.
It's like kicking
We're
down the road
looking at,
from
the
here.
question is bathrooms and drinking fountains at all parks. Are we putting wells and septic meters in?
It's just a survey.
That's the question. These are the questions that we have.
Reading it to ask you how you prioritize.
Okay, guys, there again.
So I guess the question is, how much
Right,
are
we gotta be quiet, please.
I think the conversation that we're having right now, do we send out a survey and spend $3,000 on stamps?
Right.
It wasn't
And
gonna
it's
be
been
that high.
Okay, 2,500.
Yeah, even if it's 2,500.
Okay,
In
so
putting
they're
that money
asked,
towards these
and they discussed amongst their group, and they would like to put this questionnaire. But I think everyone, when they were promised it, I don't disagree that they were promised it, and I think they'll work better, like, are they, somebody else will come back for more cars, okay, is that gonna deter the situation if we're gonna buy a swing set or some other equipment?
this is
at
not
this time?
what
Like, start piecing it together, and each year, if they had $10,000, then I don't know if that would even buy a piece of equipment.
Yeah, and I don't know, they were gonna start looking, according to Mary, they were gonna start looking in the books on Saturday to try to figure out, what could be available, and the cost and everything.
And I do know that we did say, well, we wanted to use like this year's budget, so I think irregardless, I think they need to get some money this year.
Right.
Like, what is wrong with if they get a check for $3,000, and if they wanna send out a brochure, then they go take their money and buy stamps with it?
But is that the best use of?
That was,
But the question is,
Well, that's
the
gonna be for the
questionnaire
committee
that
to
they're
decide
presenting
what they feel the
actually-
best uses for their money.
right, that was my whole thing, when I read the minutes, You know, I wasn't here last month, and I would have stated the same point last month, but I wasn't here. Because of the fact that, you know, kids can't play on stamps, but they can play on equipment.
Thank you.
I would like to see us spend that money. I mean,
Oh, I
you
don't
know,
disagree, but
right.
we said we'd give them money, so I think that
Right.
regardless, they need to get the money. If they so choose to send out a questionnaire for $3,000 when they can wait, I mean, it doesn't mean they
Really
can't
what we
buy
came here with.
equipment, but I think that needs to be their decision.
Well, and I think, I think this survey needs to be tweaked by the board. I mean, sending out for drinking fountains and bathrooms, if we're looking for equipment and for playground equipment, bathrooms and drinking fountains, we're looking for septic and wells.
Cool, well, it's pop squats in the park, right?
Improvement, you know,
Yeah.
it'd be more park
When I
improvement
submitted, I
as
put a
opposed
cover
to
letter that said, if you have any questions, blah, 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 please
I mean,
contact
those
me, here's my
concrete
number,
vault
or anybody
bathrooms are
else.
way better
Nope.
than a porta john,
I mean, if you wanna.
you know.
Sell it, get money for it, put it into the Rives Park.
Can the board members?
Oh, yeah,
So
they're
we can
not
hear
cheap,
what the fuck
they're not
they're
cheap.
saying?
Right.
So Bryce, has the committee gone around to all the parks and prioritized?
That's what we're asking the community to do.
She's right, that's what we're at.
Yes, we have.
We've got ideas, but that doesn't mean that we should, unless you guys say strictly like, no, don't do.
It was her idea to mail them out.
No, I'm talking about like, I've gone to the park at the baseball field, and I thought the swing, or the slide needs to be all the equipment needs to be replaced. That's probably what, we're looking at 20 grand?
No,
Oh,
like
you would
$100,000.
How much?
Like upwards of $100,000 if you put
No,
in new commercial equipment.
What are we
New
talking
stuff.
for,
I'm just saying.
what are we talking roughly?
I just asked a question yesterday from a vendor, how much for a swing set for 4?
Yep.
He says around 7,000.
Good. How about a slide?
A slide, like 15.
Approximately around
depends on how high.
6,400. But then you got to understand that under each one of these playground equipment, you've got to have legally 12 inches of like sawdust,
Right.
chip.
Something that
And so
can,
that has to be placed
absorb.
as a buffer, so children don't get hurt. It also has to be placed at least, depending on the piece of playground equipment, 6 feet in diameter.
Fall zone.
And
so, I mean, there again, wouldn't we be better spending,
So why don't,
buy that swing set?
Jerry,
Right,
what
but we're not
company is gonna
even-
come
we're
do
not
one
even including,
playground?
someone said the park is
Mary.
dangerous currently,
We
so
need to
that
find out
needs,
that
that
we
stuff needs to
didn't
go.
So,
initially
I mean,
do we wanna spend that money to get it ripped out?
We didn't wanna do that.
Yeah, but I don't know.
She
Is it
forced
something
that.
that
You
they
were
can
here,
do
you saw that.
volunteers? I don't know the concrete, if it's in the ground, I don't know how deep it is that?
Yeah,
The concrete's
something
exposed.
that can be physically removed, or do we have to hire some company to come in with some big equipment? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that cement's probably at least 4 foot deep, and it's at least a foot out from every one of those posts.
And it's level.
I know it's exposed, yeah, I know it's exposed.
Right now,
Well-
we've been told that the swing sets, we got too many. There's not enough space in between each of the posts to be able to have 2 swings. Now, if you don't wanna meet code,
We've got three
Great.
vendors that are looking at it, and going, it's not gonna cost us anything.
Right.
And they've got years of experience, thought it out.
Bryce, can you speak up, please?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's hard to hear.
So for instance, we just focused on the ball field part and trying to get something like Leslie Township has behind their town hall. I mean,
A city
we need
with a
like
DDA.
numbers and the cost. No, but if we don't know what those kind of numbers are,
That's why we didn't do that.
is it gonna be like a 5-year plan or a 2-year plan or?
Good luck,
Are the
kid.
grants?
We could do like a lot all at once.
But I
in your
think
spot back in
Gary
July.
focused on one part.
And you wouldn't let me talk.
Oh, I
had the capital
agree, and
improvement,
I
I have
think
it on
that the
me.
main one would probably be
No, I know,
downtown
I know,
Rise,
I
but
know,
I'm
I
not
know.
one of the members of the committee. And I don't, I mean, honestly, I don't think this one would be utilized well as.
No. No, there's not very many people that ever
No,
are here
but
participating.
I don't think I think whatever's here should come out and it should just be kind of closed.
Right.
And then.
Basketball hooping, that's about it. That's what I mean, we leave the basketball hoops and.
So, we keep referring to Leslie, and Leslie does have a beautiful park, I agree with that 100%, but they are a city that has the DDA helping them.
They've got
so
two,
that's-
actually, they've got the big one there by the
Right.
school, and then they've got one down behind the fire barn.
Right.
That is brand new last year.
Right, but they are a city, and so they have different programs, but, on top, there is some equipment there that we can keep, the vendors did tell us that, we just need to clean it up, paint it. Things like, some things may need to be removed, but there is, the swings, the slide, those things they have to go.
Are we better suited to go down there, and are we better suited to hire somebody to take that out this year and get
If
that
you don't wanna
taken care
get
of?
sued, yes.
Yes, that was, I mean, we literally, the vendors looked at the swings and they were like, whoa, like they were nervous about the swings. And then, about the stamps, I do wanna say, we actually did come to the board last month with a suggestion that we just did a, electronic survey. The board insisted that we mail those out, that's where that is coming from, and we just wanna get input from the community.
All taxpayers, Sherry, we
Right.
can't
And
just do the taxpayers that are on a Facebook page. We have to include every taxpayer, if we're going
So
to
what?
spend
Well, then we don't even need to do
taxpayers'
one.
money, we have to.
Could we do it, what about putting it on the, yeah, what about on the
What about on our
township website?
That was the
That's,
request.
that was, and the thing,
But
it
if
wasn't
somebody
just
really
Facebook.
wants to put their input
That was the
in,
request.
That
they
was
would
why,
print it or find
if we're
somebody
gonna
to
do
print
it,
it
we
and-
have to do it for everybody.
Right.
I mean, it just, I
We can't do it
understand
for
where
a
Jerry's coming
certain-
from.
Oh,
It's
I
a
do
lot
too,
of
cause I
money.
didn't wanna do that either, it's a waste of money.
But we could take the $3,000 for stamps and remove the slides and everything this year, get the park right, and then have them have their 10,000 or whatever we're gonna budget for them for next year.
There you go.
You might as well toss it out the door, you're not gonna get anything done for $10,000.
Hold on, Mary, hold on.
So whatever your budget is.
Right, I mean, we haven't put the budget together, I mean, I can tell you it's not gonna be $100,000.
Well,
I can
No,
tell you that.
no.
Jerry, let me see, Jerry, when we met with the vendors, as a group, we have proposed to them that this could take a 3-year program to get
Right.
it done. Could you design a program where we can bring some pieces in? Get those set up, get them legal, and then add on as we go. Hopefully we get 2 people to respond. I had one that he almost laughed at us and he's never responded because we're so little.
Right.
I don't even dare tell them what our budget was last year because it was 25,000. I'm afraid to at this point, that they'll just walk away and it won't do nothing for us. But the last 2 we had said they would.
All right, let's, okay, what do we wanna do? Do we wanna get this equipment, if it's dangerous and it's liable, then we need to get it the heck out of here.
So then I make the motion to resend the
Still in motion.
$3,000 for
There we are.
stamps.
Point of order.
envelopes,
They don't care.
And to use that $3,000 to remove the equipment
Well,
that's.
not even, I mean, 3,000 maybe way more than that. I mean, I don't
For
know.
whatever.
I don't know, I don't think it's something that.
Yeah, I wonder if I have a budget, hang on, let me see.
I mean,
You know, hey, removal could come out of township improvements instead of parks budget. That's a part of. Oh my gosh, can't have anything happen.
yeah, if we go down with caution tape, we're just gonna rip it off and start swinging.
Right.
Yeah, we're told it's a liability.
Right.
Oh yeah, actually, hang on, 1 couple years ago, it just, I think it fell. No, we're not gonna agree to
It
go
just
up
needs to go to
there.
Omnisource. Put the money back into the parks.
I'll take the slide, I'll remove the slide.
Well, no, we wanna use the slide.
You
Well, you
can't,
use the
that's
slide.
against the law.
Incorporate it into that hillside, and it'll be.
Oh, look, he's taking my idea, even though I can't be on the Parks Committee.
Brett,
Actually, you can.
Way up there, way up in the sky.
they told us where the hills are, that slide went.
I was on those slides and
Yes,
swings when I was.
it's legal.
No, I didn't.
The park vendors said.
And I probably did hit the ground a couple of times.
Why does something as good as parks make this board so crazy?
And both of the parks,
I agree.
the liability on that.
Needs-
Well, we didn't
both-
even
both-
wanna do
both
that.
parts.
Screwing him over every 5 seconds. They're just,
There's
this is
no-
just,
don't
this
like
Yeah,
is.
we don't want that to happen.
There with one mom watching all
All
the.
right,
Sports at
Now
Jewel.
we're live.
Marcella made a motion to,
Look, hang on,
rescind the
right here.
$3,000 for standards. Is there support on that?
It's with what we're working with.
Okay, roll call, Brett. Christine? Priscilla?
Property, repairs and
Carol?
maintenance, you can take
vote
from
yes,
there.
motion carried. We need to get a,
Money for things.
we need,
Fun.
gotta, I hate like heck to put out bids, to have that equipment removed, but it's gonna have to be, somebody's gonna have to remove it. It's all gotta be removed out of the ground,
I
dismantled,
thought you
hauled
was
away.
taking your backbone for these two.
And I can, and I don't have a problem doing it. Well, I won't, trust me, I won't be doing any work outside the backhoe.
You can play at my house, I'll take him to the park.
I can drive the backhoe, I just can't operate the chains. You know, and there
Township
again, if
improvements.
the township wants to get that removed, I'm
$150,000
more
in
than
the
happy to
budget for
go.
that.
I'll get it out of the ground and I'll stack it off to the side.
That's a liability.
We have people that would be willing to help you and get it out of there same day, and we'd
Okay.
like to clean it up anyway,
And
so.
that's fine, and I
If you
can
communicate with
that
us,
you
we
guys.
would
Yep.
be more than willing to come out and
I
help you,
can
Jerry.
communicate that with
I was gonna say that too.
Thank you, Mark.
I'd offer.
Okay, Mark, thank you.
Is there a need, I have a tractor, is there a liability thing on
Yes.
using private stuff on
Yes, absolutely.
township property to do something like that? I have a tractor that could help, you have a backhoe, you
Right.
can yank stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, there again, I mean, we can call, but, I mean, I'm an employee of the township,
So see,
you know. So are you. You know, I mean, if it's our equipment, I don't know why it would matter.
Volunteers, I think it's a problem.
Right. I mean, we can call the insurance company and inquire.
Let me know what happens.
Okay, Mark, I will.
So how long are we thinking, right? I'm thinking, once we get it out of the ground, we're good to go, the liability is still there.
I can start on it, not next week, but the week after.
April.
I can do it in 2 weeks.
If you're looking at having to pay to have all that metal stuff hauled up, you could get a hold of, there's scrappers advertising, making posts on, I'm sure somebody would be willing to take all that and.
But
all of it.
we could take the scrap money for the
Right,
parks.
exactly.
Right.
Oh, she's like,
I mean-
wanna take it in?
We can take it in and get the money back, put it, and bring it to you and receipt and everything.
Send the questionnaire out.
And put it in the
now we have no
parks.
park at all.
We have no park at all.
We're going backwards.
Because of liability.
We're going, yeah, well, liability. yeah.
There are things they said we could leave.
There again, it's one of those things that has been presented to the board, and if we ignore it,
Yep.
that's negligence.
We'll have a plan.
been ignoring it since July.
Yep, and we're gonna.
Can we
have-
take what's
there again,
left
we're
in the
gonna have
parks
to commit
budget for
to
the
money in
rest of the
budget.
year to send to one of these
And-
vendors?
I'd ask how much they
Just
used out of
move
township
along.
improvements.
There's financing options, and when we find out, hey, we've got whatever the budget ends up being, we've got X dollars that is afforded to us by the township. We know what the delta is, that's when we can go ask for grants, there's a lot of options after that point.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
No.
All right,
If I understand this right, what we've done so far is reverse our previous decision and wave our fingers at the citizens and say, we don't give a shit what the citizens want, we're not gonna send out the questionnaire and ask them what they'd like to see done.
Yep.
no,
Isn't that where we're at?
there will be something sent out I would assume in the taxes.
In June.
In June, that way there's no postage involved. We will take our money, spend our money now to get all the equipment tore out. That way we got a clean slate.
If we're tearing
I mean,
it
it's
out.
disappointing, but there again,
getting
you know,
that
it's
money.
it's that stupid L word, you know, liability.
Jerry, I got a question. I mean, if everybody's discussing with you, can I just?
No, I'm not, yeah, I'm just looking at you, I'm not giving you a dirty look, I'm just looking at you.
What I see, I've missed the last 4 meetings, because to be honest with you, I'm tired of this back and forth thing, I really am. This
Sounds
is
much fun to
some
clean
of
it
the
on the
things that you
ballot
guys
box.
talked about tonight, I'm near and dear to, that's why I showed up. What I see in this process, and I don't have a dog to hunt in this, I don't care either way, to be honest with you, about parks.
Your kids aren't gonna be playing on it?
Use it. And, no, we don't need it.
Then
So,
don't comment if you don't care.
what I see here is a process problem. What I see is a committee that works for a board, that answers to the board. What I see is the committee demanding from the board, and the board allowing that to happen. Hold on, I didn't interrupt you, don't be rude. What I see here is.
But you haven't been
that the
here to see
committee
what's going
has
on.
A questionnaire that they wanna put out, and they're coming to you saying, put this out, give us $3,000 in
No.
No, it was voted on last.
I'm talking, you had your
Hold on,
chance, you
hold on,
interrupt
Barry.
everybody, don't interrupt me.
Okay, that, from what I understand, reading the minutes, it was Priscilla that
It
mentioned.
was me, and I'll take that hit,
I'm still
and I
talking.
did it because they
I'm
wanted to
still
put
talking,
it on
Mary was the
Facebook.
floor, and she interrupted me, and now
Well,
you guys are.
go ahead, Al, you're fine.
Now, it's a process, if you folks don't like the questionnaire, make a vote, and kick it back to Judy, tell me to read something different. And if they don't do it, fine, if they give you something better, vote on it again.
Okay.
Right now, the tail is wagging the dog, and you guys need to fix that.
All right, we're good.
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Did you just hear?
do we wanna make a motion to remove that, or do we wanna just get it done? We just wanna do it with volunteers.
And we can do it with volunteers, so let's do it.
So what is the time frame it's gonna be done in?
I can get started on my end the week after next. I can't do anything next week.
And
We'll
then
be
you
there.
guys will be there?
Give me that date
I'll
because,
communicate, it'll be
let me know.
like the week of the 18th.
Yep, I'll be there.
Um,
I'll bring a crew.
and as you can tell,
Jake?
I'm off work, I'm gonna be off work for, looks like another 3 months, but I can run my back up.
Ella, call your dad.
Okay, now, as far as the equipment, once it is taken down, what do we wanna do with it?
Omni.
Cause I don't have a problem
They wanna take it
taking,
in,
well,
so they
right.
can have money for parks.
okay, I
I'll
don't
bring you
have
guys
a
the receipt for
problem,
it. Everything.
I don't have a problem dismantling
and a trailer.
swing set and taking it home. I don't have a problem taking that slide down and taking it home.
You gonna pay for it?
What is it worth?
just kidding.
What is it worth?
You want it in your house?
I will take it. I will take one swing set in the slide.
Why does he get first right to it?
$155 and
Let him.
that's done.
Please don't fight it.
For shredding it.
We're getting
Because I'll
somewhere.
repurpose it.
So you want this swing set or you want one of the?
I think if you're gonna take it down, you should offer it to the people in the community, that if they want it, and put it
Well,
up.
how about in trade for the use of the backhoe, I take a swing set and a slide?
Oh, let's negotiate.
Well, I mean, that,
He's,
you know,
it's fine.
I mean,
Personally, I think
Well,
it's
if you're
fair.
not, I mean, we're gonna pay somebody to.
Right.
And
Because
the
that would be money
backhoe is
coming-
what,
no.
$150 an hour?
at least 100.
We're 100 an hour, and you're gonna be there probably, what, at least an hour, or, well, you gotta go
Oh,
to two.
yeah,
I know.
it'll be all day.
I know,
It'll be an all day.
Yeah, it'll be an all day thing. You know, so, I mean, if everybody's fair with that, or okay with that, I don't mind it. I'm not asking for money, but I don't wanna see that stuff getting,
The slide is off balance right now, so I would like to put it in the corporate.
I don't know, is it, but I thought that slide, if it was up, I thought that was a liability, that was in our, one of our liabilities.
I know, I see it, I've been watching it.
Jerry, I got a question.
Sure.
She wants to pay you to take that stuff out of there with your backhoe and take that stuff out, right? Am I hearing that right?
No, we would not be
no,
paying.
You just said $150 an hour. for
That's,
that
we were
backhoe.
just talking, you know, in general, yeah.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
If we're paying you to do your job already.
No, we're
and you're
not,
doing that,
Jeff.
then we gotta ask
Stop
you
it.
to-
No, Jeff,
There's
that's
no
not
part
it.
that says I gotta take my backhoe to the park to remove equipment.
I understand.
No
that.
part
All
whatsoever.
I'm going by is her saying that it's
No.
$150 an hour.
I did not
So
say,
she wanted to make a motion to pay you a certain amount.
I did not say
So then
that I
you-
was charging.
I know.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
I did not
I'm
say
trying to
that.
get it right.
I did not say that.
I just said, isn't $150 an hour
And
going?
alls I'm saying is, if there's the opportunity to repurpose that stuff, I would repurpose it. I wouldn't haul it to the junkyard. Okay, that's my opinion, but, you know, I mean, Bryce, you don't throw shit away. You know what I'm saying?
Good one, Jerry.
Right, oh, yeah,
So if we can go and list it online,
right.
we can get people come and get it.
So, I mean, it's up to the board. If the board says, no, we're tearing it out, we're sending it to OmniSource, then tell us that.
Bye.
If not, I mean, I'm just asking the question. Like I said, I'll repurpose it. I've got grandkids and, well, to be honest with you, maybe they should fall off a swing or a slide. I mean, I bet they don't do it again.
So Bryce, this is yours. What do you want to do with the slide and the swing sets after Jerry pulls them out? Can Jerry, for
I think-
pulling the bait of the,
If necessary, we pay Jerry for his time for the equipment and all that, but I think we ought to go and at least put it up for bid for the community. Anybody else on
Bryce, it's gonna cost us more money.
You gonna mail it out?
I'm just saying, if we do that, if Jerry is willing to offer his time and his equipment in exchange for
Take the slide home.
swings and the slide, I think that that's more than fair because it's gonna cost us more money
Yes.
to have somebody come in and get it
Yes,
and take it out.
cause the
And
people that.
it's, so I think that that's more than fair to, if he's willing to do that with his time and equipment.
All right, so everybody's all right with that? Do we wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion for Jerry to remove the slide, all the equipment at,
Main Street
Main Street
and
and
Lansing Ave,
Lansing Ave,
leaving both basketball hoops.
leaving both basketball hoops. And Jerry to take one slide and one swing set with him, and Mary Hall, is that?
She's gonna, I'll coordinate with her on getting some
And
able
Jerry
bodies.
and the Parks Committee will coordinate for the removal of all equipment that's left.
Okay, is there support?
I'll support.
Okay. Bryce?
Oh, good lord.
Priscilla?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes, please.
I'll abstain. Motion carried.
Point of information, there's only one basketball hoop over the park, maybe you guys ought to visit it once.
Yeah, there's one there and there's one here.
Yeah, but the motion was for the main park, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
To keep the hoops.
Okay, elections, discussion, possible action. Priscilla, that's yours.
So, Margaret went and worked at Blackman, and Blackman has the Franklin Four Station booths. What they are is they're a booth with four people can vote in them at once, and we have four for all of, we only have 4 stations for the front, precinct 1 and precinct 2. If we purchase these 4 booth stations, we could run, if we bought 2 of them for the front, precinct 1 and precinct 2, we'd be able to run 8 people through and then add an extra 1 or 2. So when we go into August and November's elections, we can run 8 to 10 people at a time through the front for each precinct.
And you also told me that is refunded.
They will look at it as a refund, a reimbursement, but we have to, they said, we have to make sure there will be a reimbursement, it's not a guarantee.
But there is the possibility
It
that
is
we
a
get
possibility.
reimbursement 100%.
Right, it's not a guarantee though.
All right. So are you making a motion
So,
then?
and I make the motion that we buy 4 of the Franklin Forestation booths, 2 for precinct 1 and 2 for precinct 2.
They're rebuying the stuff we
And the
sold.
total will be $3,876.
They're
So we can
rebuying
have
the
it
stuff that
for
we
both
sold a
of
couple
the,
years ago.
Precinct.
We've already had these and they sucked. And now we don't have
Support on
them,
that.
so now we're buying them again for $4,000.
You do know where those.
We sold them for like 900 and something.
They are nowhere to be found in the township office or.
They were sold.
There's a board approved motion
November
in
9th, 2017, they got sold because they were awful and everyone hated using them.
There's some discussion on why did we sell them, or are we just making another bad decision?
Another township.
Because they were
So
crap.
technically, we were told by Jenny Cruz that every 80 people that are in our community, we have to have a precinct, a booth for, which would be a whole lot more than what we have.
Right.
But
Is that a recommendation or is that a
that,
requirement?
that is one of their requirements, but nobody meets those requirements. So,
We're supposed to have 37.
yes. So,
There's no way for us to have.
We don't have room for 37. Okay, motion's been made, is there support?
Standing booth things. They're in the, that's what's
Okay,
in storage.
we'll roll call here. Oh, I'm sorry, any discussion?
I just wanna know, who is going to reimburse, if was a possibility of reimbursement? Who
the
is
state
going to-
initiative.
Okay.
We'll have
So,
that.
and what does that mean, that we just have to fill out the proper paperwork?
Yeah, well, when I buy them, I'll send them in, just like I get reimbursed for the elections. And usually a primary, and a primary will get more, and sometimes we get more leeway. And if you look at the budget, for elections, we did get the $2,500 grant money back for the cameras from 2022 that we just got back after I resubmitted for the grant, so we got that grant money back. I've sent
How
in,
long have you been
we got it back, within a month and a half. So it was, we resubmitted for the grant money for the camera we got back. I sent in for both of my elections and got all of our money that we got, for our election inspectors, our stamps reimbursed.
That was the election last year.
That was August and November I got reimbursed. And then I will be sending in for, February, here since the payroll is all completely done. We had no emails or anything.
I didn't know if it was, they will be reimbursed, or there's,
It's a question, it's a possibility, yes or no, we don't know.
it's
not-
not
it's
dependent
not
upon
yours.
our actions.
Well, I have to send it in, and then they tell us if we get reimbursed.
Okay, any further discussion?
We have
Hearing
this
none.
small,
Carol?
Jerry's niece
Yes.
about swallowed the
Priscilla?
princess head.
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Frank?
It does.
I'll vote yes, motion carried. Okay, next one, resolution for the treasurer to use more than one bank. Discussion and possible action. Carol?
Seven six.
The current resolution states that we can use independent bank and county insurance.
Speak up, please.
All of our funds are at independent bank. And the way that it's set up currently is because of FDIC, we're only covered for $250,000. So when we have more than $250,000, they send it to a sweep account that then is invested. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's invested kind of in a different holding than just under the independent bank umbrella. That sweep account is running from 0.9% to 2.75. We can get an interest rate of 5.5 right now at Michigan Class, which is a AAA rated investment broker that most of the municipalities in Michigan uses. And it's also liquid like our sweep account.
What's the name of this company?
It's Michigan Class. Actually, Tompkins uses it, and that's how I was alerted to it. So that is one of the recommendations of changing this. And the other two that we mentioned is that it gives us the ability to shop around for interest rates for CDs. And outside of independent bank. Doesn't mean that we're going to ignore independent bank, it'll just be in the mix of what's the best interest rate.
Right, and this is not, I'm sorry, Christine, this is not this is not something new, we do this every year. Just this time, we're adding, a different bank or two. But usually every year at budget time, we will approve whatever banks, the board approves them. The treasurer then has the ability to use any one of those banks that we've approved.
So it's
So
shopping around for the
we
best
don't just
interest
say
rate.
like, we make a resolution to use banks other than independent, it has to be specific.
No, right, it has to spell out which ones. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
then they have to be named in the resolution.
Yep, and they are named in the resolution as, R 2024-2.
Correct.
So are you making that into a motion
I am.
to approve the resolution?
To approve the resolution to allow us to use Independent Bank, PNC Bank, American One Federal Credit Union, and Michigan Flex.
Good, is there support on that?
I'll support it.
Good. Roll call, Bryce?
Yep.
Good.
Yes.
Christine? Priscilla? Carol?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, motion carries. Okay, committees, discussion and possible action. I'd like to make a motion to approve that all appointed members of any committee, of any and all committees of Rives Township shall be terminated at the next meeting if any disparaging comments are made against or concerning any direct hire, appointed or elected official of Rives Township. Is there support?
That's illegal. That's 100% illegal.
Really?
Violates First Amendment rights.
And the 14th Amendment combines both of them, actually.
Because we set flag, that's an amendment.
Did the committee sign any kind of ethics code?
That's right.
Well, this is any committee. This is
I'm
any,
just
right, this is
asking.
PC.
Do they? I'm asking, do committees? I mean, I know the planning commission did,
Yeah.
Planning Commission and
ZBA,
ZBA
yeah.
have.
because I think when we sign that, I think it kind of incorporates professionalism in there and.
Simplest solution is to contact MTA.
Yep, I'll call them tomorrow. So scratch that motion. I'll contact them tomorrow.
You two go and decide.
I'll call them tomorrow.
I have a couple of things that are just for everybody's FYI. MSP, the FOIA, sent me a letter yesterday adding additional 35 days. I did call them today and told them that we are not accepting the extra 35-day extension because they're out of their FOIA guidelines that they're following for MCL. I did put that in an email back to MSP FOIA, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. Lawn mowing bids are up on the should be up on the website today. We're taking bids from now until March 18th for lawn mowing and snow plowing together. So we will do sealed bids and we will open them at the meeting. We did have a, Decker Agency showed up at our door today. Risk Management looked at our buildings, our township office, they went into the basement. They were happy with our, totes being done, they were happy that we had a backup, sub pump. They went outside and checked the generator, and they were happy with your bullets, or whatever they're called, Bryce.
Okay.
And,
That's a good
they
idea.
are. And they gave us we were good to go. We passed our risk management from the township office today, and we should get a reduced rate. They're gonna send us, they're gonna go back and put it through the computer and see what underwriting's gonna do, because we have the generator now and the cameras, and we just upgraded, we upgraded the computer, had to have another alarm system thing put in for $66 today. because,
That
full
was their
alarm.
recommendation?
No, it was, our alarms wasn't picking up enough on both sides.
Oh.
So that was done just before they got there, so, with our alarm system, our cameras, our backups and everything, we passed our risk management today.
One thing I would like to ask the board to do is take this, their survey that they've got, make notes on it. If there's anything that you would like to see removed, if there's anything you would like to see added, please make those changes, bring them back and, get them to Bryce or whoever, so that they can be circulated back. And then one thing I would like to ask the committee, could you guys, between the 4 or 5 of you, could you guys give me one spokesperson? So I don't have to have 5 people.
We'll work on that this Saturday at
Yeah,
our meeting.
Yeah, and then that way it makes it easy, then, we're talking to one
And it's
person.
been posted and it's on the web.
So you guys figure out who you want that to be and just,
Yep.
let's do it that way.
Gotcha.
Well, I thought Bryce was our
Well,
spokesperson.
but he sounds.
You keep throwing it at me.
Well, you're the board
Well,
member.
we'll go with a spokesperson that they're happy with, and that's the ones we will communicate with,
Okay.
both, on the phone and here at the meetings.
Yep, gotcha.
And one other thing with Decker Agency, they would like the exec board to deal with them. So do we need to make a motion that the exec board supervisor, clerk, or treasurer can contact Decker Agency from now on?
What?
Just Decker Agency?
I don't know.
Well,
I didn't hear
what
that.
other agencies you want, but I just know that's one of the things that they, have asked, so.
Well, the attorney, I mean, that, you guys handled that last month, and please understand, I'm not upset, that's fine.
No,
And
it's
then
not
as far as the
waste of
auditor,
money.
same thing with the auditor.
So do you wanna,
Yes, add the
what do you
auditor
wanna
to
add to this?
the auditor.
Make a motion that only the exec board, supervisor, clerk, and treasurer can contact the Decker Agency and the auditor moving forward. Is that what you guys want?
Yep, is there support on that?
What about the PC contacting lawyer?
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Did you say anything, guys? You said no?
I just said,
Or you did not?
Are you saying
Are you
yes or no?
abstaining?
I'm just abstaining.
Okay, Bryce abstained.
Okay, is that all we've got?
And then, let's see here. And we gotta make sure that Parks and Recs, they did bring me their agenda and their stuff, but they have, if there's more than 2, that is a meeting.
Yeah, I talked to Mary, and that's been circulated, so you guys are aware. Anything more than 2.
I have a question on that though, if I may. If we're doing things like park cleanup day, are we supposed to be like, okay, Mary and Jake, you can go from
No,
10 to
no,
2
that-
and,
That's
you know-
different, okay, so we've
It's gotta be
advertised this
advertised
basically
it,
in a
okay.
meeting that, that we know that starting the week of the 18th,
okay,
that we're all getting together and we're gonna get this.
I'll get
equipment
something typed
pulled
up
on
for
here.
that.
Um,
I'll get it
Put
to you.
to-
You know.
yeah,
I'll
I
email it.
posted
Can I email it to you?
Yeah, email.
Okay.
Yeah, email works now, finally.
Okay.
After 3 days?
No, 6.
6,
Yeah, no,
okay.
I-
Well, yeah, cause I tried
I didn't even look.
forever
at it
emailing you
yesterday.
to that paperwork. Okay, Alex is not here. Okay, must be he talked
Can I
before.
make one comment?
No.
It's good news,
Oh, okay, good.
is taxes have been settled at the county. So I just wanna let everybody know.
Good deal.
Do I have to talk about planning commission today, in a special meeting?
You don't have
We
to.
just had a meeting.
Okay.
Who do you want to?
So-
You can.
All right, well, as we all know, the solar ordinance did not get support, so that motion failed. So I don't know if we are redrafting the solar ordinance, working on it further to present it again, and we are unable to this time.
Good. I talked to Jim a little bit about that, which we'll talk. Yeah, I mean, basically the motion was made and it was dead. It didn't get supported, so basically it's,
Yeah.
no action was taken. So it didn't fail, it didn't pass, just no action taken. The board review starts next week for taxes, Monday, Tuesday, Monday at 9 a.m. Station 1, from 9 to 3, Tuesday will be from 3 to 9 p.m. So,
Station one.
Station 1, yeah. If, anybody would like to stop in, you know, have your paperwork in order and stop in and see the board review. And they will not act on anything while you're there. They wait till you leave and then they talk about you. Not in a bad way, just they don't ever make any decisions, when there's a whole group of people. They go over that stuff as there's an opening and nobody's there. So, anything else in front of this board? I don't have anybody that signed up for the second public comment, I don't believe.
I just want the people that are left here knowing that I myself and the other members have worked very hard to put this together. I'm quite pleased that we possibly will have 2 bids for the playground within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
As I said, after the first one kind of blew me off and I confronted him, and we are so small that they don't want to mess with us.
Yeah,
And that's very disappointing.
Yep, it is.
And this isn't gonna be cheap. We never set out to do it in 1 year. We never set out to do it 1 year. When I explained it to these
Right, and you and I talked and it wasn't that.
and that is what is explained.
Right.
I went to a group, where I met with several playgrounds. And I guess my feeling personally is that I wanna do something good for this community. This community has been in such an uproar for so long. The fest that has gone on, the stealing, everything, and I thought this could bring us together and try to do something good for the community. So now basically, you guys have said to me, we will give you $10,000 in the next budget. That's made by 2 pieces and be able to do.
No, we were giving you 10,000 out of this budget.
Yeah, so we're waiting, and so
The
if
new
you,
budget starts
we
April
wouldn't
1st.
mind doing like swing sets or something, this budget and then next budget, but you got, once Jerry gets that equipment down, then clean up, and then we can take it out of this budget, we can pay for it, and you
I
can,
misunderstood.
you can get, one piece of equipment, or whatever you have for your money.
You know, and that's why
And
I
we
said,
don't
if
know
you
what
guys,
the money is.
if you guys can come up with something, and I know
I'm
that it's not
trying.
everything,
I
okay?
can't move these
Right,
people. only
but if
so
you can
fast.
come up with something, you know, especially now, because we're removing everything.
We'll have
So
it
if
nailed
you-
down.
Asked us about that.
You know,
and
so
we
if you can
said-
come up with a swing set that, you know, is $6,000-8,000 or whatever, and we can approve it and get it out of this budget, well then, we got a swing set.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? And then we'll put more money in the budget starting April 1st
okay.
for parks, and then you can expand on that.
Thank you.
I think this needs to be made clear to the public, because right now, they're gonna see you guys tear that down.
Oh, yeah.
And they're gonna wonder, what H is going on?
So,
But
Bryce,
can we-
maybe you could give us a little announcement that says where there's on the website, there's a little thing that says announcements that I had put where the bids are, or where what things are, you know, like the election things. Make up a little blurb, and then and people can look at it and say, hey, this is what the parks at this date is coming down, and
How's that any different than putting a survey online?
well, it isn't just survey, that's just giving the community a heads up that Jerry's taking, or the park equipment's getting removed. It's not a survey, it's stating what we're doing. The removal of the equipment, and then
It's a
working on the
liability,
park.
and that's how it could be explained.
Right.
It's a big liability.
Okay,
Or
but
something, so the
do we
community
necessarily
knows.
need bids for, like,
Playground?
playground equipment?
Yes.
People, you can't, there's nothing, like, there's not a catalog that you get.
Yes, and
We've got multiple manufacturers. What I'm trying to do is get these bids together. I will cut and paste pictures of things that we have picked out, the most cost efficient to get it, you know, definitely swings, they're about the cheapest thing you can buy, and then a teeter-totter. We know it's not gonna be grand. but it's
But do
gonna
we
be
need
sufficient.
bids, is what I'm saying, or
Yes,
do we just?
you're gonna have hopefully two to choose from, Christine.
Okay, we
And-
can't just say, we're looking for a swing set and.
No.
So what they'll
Yeah,
do,
okay,
what we
here's
can
the
do,
swing set,
Christine,
and they deliver it and.
yeah,
it's
what
put there.
they can do is they can give us a bid of, you know, a couple different options. We could say, okay, this one is doable over 3 to 4 years. This one's
Well,
doable
it's
for
up to
3
the
to 4 years.
board.
And
This
then-
is the board's
that's-
decision.
Yeah.
What's the
Mary,
board's
Mary,
decision?
they understand that, they understand that. Then what we can do is over time, we'll have like a setup for it. You know, it'll be mapped out how it would be. They've taken pictures, they've done measurements, and then over, like, each year they can add something new to it. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
I just didn't know if that's how, you know, if they were reasonable. to
You
work
realize
with
your
us
trustee
because
isn't
it
even
was
listening,
over
right?
time.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're a smaller job and it's
Lovely,
over time,
super
I didn't know
professional.
if it was necessary, if they were like.
Bryce, you should probably be
"Let's
listening, it's
see,
about
we
your
need all
committee."
this stuff.
Oh my
Or
God.
could we just say, okay, well, we're gonna put a swing set here, we're gonna put the necessary cushions down, do we need them, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, it would,
In order for the equipment to be warranted,
Okay,
you have to go by what they do. They have
okay,
agreed,
no, that's fine, and that was my
the
question, if
warranty
we
is
need
about
somebody to
15
come
to
in.
20 years.
Literally, the rest of the board is not listening to any of this. It'd be nice if everyone would pay attention to the end.
hey, can we adjourn this, Jerry's got?
So I guess I'm gonna talk to the board, but if we take money, so this is the deal. If you take money from because we have the money for March, for playground equipment. We have a budget that we're gonna budget in for playground equipment in April.
Yep.
Why don't we write a check for the one, or put the money, and we have to have a check and we have to close that budget.
Yep.
And then in April get the other so that you can pay both of it to have two pieces of equipment.
We could do that,
and
we can
deliver.
operate it just like we do on the fire department. You know
Just
how
like we do the
we'll
fire.
we'll write a check out of, you know, we'll buy stuff and we'll purchase it before April first. And then we'll buy stuff, write the check, but it doesn't clear until after April first.
If I can get these bids.
Yes,
know,
if you can
and-
get it, Mary, we'll do what we can to try to make it happen on our end.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and like I said, we have not really, we've looked at the budget, but we have not worked on the budget. We will be working on the budget, not much next week, but the week after, I'm afraid that she's gonna wanna beat me up for that budget.
Well,
So her and I are gonna sit down and we're gonna go over that thing.
We're budgeting, we're making your
And
budget.
so we'll put something together and, you know, we'll do what we can to try to give you guys, you know, a little more, you know.
I'm hopefully, I will get that too.
Can we moderate the meeting and like,
I guess, do you want me
Oh my
to
God.
paste things that, I would hope that this,
Give them the bid, give them the bid, 'cause that'll be the most concise, easiest thing.
but they may wanna switch things and.
Once they have the bids, they can look and then we can buy colors, lots of photographs.
Yeah, that's fine, absolutely. If you can get that done before the end of the month, because we got a budget at the end of, we got a budget workshop.
great?
Is there a way of putting that money into like, is there a way of putting that money in like an escrow type thing?
Maybe, but we've tried that before, but it's, doesn't, if you do that,
What? Oh,
then it
thanks.
comes out of the budget, that's kinda tricky.
Is it, I just asked,
I don't know if it can be escrowed or not, and I don't think it can. That becomes a bookkeeping nightmare.
Mary, we'll look at things on
For the sake of
Saturday.
easy numbers, it's 10 grand, we come up with a $50,000 playground. Could that 10 grand from this budget be used as earnest money or down payment towards the?
Depending on what kind, if we, okay, we've bought fire trucks before where we've had 5 years to pay.
Sure.
And we pay $40,000 a year, interest free.
Yep.
Okay, so why wouldn't we take advantage of that? If something like that was presented, interest free.
Yep.
It's just, we can't say yes, and we won't probably say yes on a $50,000 park improvement in 1 year.
I don't
Okay, we
think-
wouldn't
no,
do that.
no.
Sure.
Because we wouldn't wanna tie up that kind of money, but it, you know, if we can,
I think if we do
There's-
equipment, pay
there are
for it,
financing
equipment, pay for it, so then we are not, putting this township that we have any debt.
Right, we
Because
don't-
that's
we
the
don't
debt
like-
reduction we're doing.
just like on
We're
fire
in
trucks,
debt from
you
FOIL
know, we
legal
try,
bills.
you know, we've budgeted very careful, and I'll say, you know, in 27 years, I've been involved, and for 27 years, we budget carefully, and we watch our money so that we can continue to stay solvent, and we have. Us and Tompkins are the only two townships in the county that do not have a fire millage, only two.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment.
Or a road millage. Well, no, not all townships have road millage.
That's right.
But us two are the only two that do not have a fire millage. And because we've always been able to live within our means. And yes, would we like that Cadillac? Yes, we would. We might not get a Cadillac, we might get a
These roads are
Chevy.
killing my Cadillac, okay?
You know, so it's just, so, no, I mean, we'll do what we can. We know that we've got, you know, a situation, especially now because we're removing everything.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll make it work.
The money that exists now without escrowing it or sliding it around or whatever else, and applying it directly to whatever the cost would be once we get bids back, would have to be spent no later than when?
March 31st.
March 31st.
Well, it
And
has to be
So-
just before March 31st, cause that check
But
has
it
to
doesn't
be.
have
So,
to be installed.
No,
No.
we
So-
could use that as a down payment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what
we
I'm
could
asking.
write a check, use that as down payment, and then say we give you another, I'll say 15 or 20,000.
Sure.
Then we could use that,
So when we,
to finish paying.
to get to that point, if that's the point we wanna get to, we need the bids back, get them to you. We vote, you say, yep, option A or option B, whatever the cost, whatever the case.
Just like this, back in December, back in December, we purchased, Scott packs for the fire department. Rives used ARPA money to pay for our portion. That was the down payment to lock in so that we didn't get a rate increase after January first.
Yeah.
And then Tompkins will then send their check in after April first under their new budget. So it's a way for us to kind of play the game to have it work for, you know, for our advantage to, you know, in that case, not to get the rate increase.
Gotcha.
So you have to have an
Oh, yeah.
invoice.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna have
But
the,
I'm
in
just,
front
yeah,
of
but I'm
you.
just saying, an invoice that we pay off from,
Oh, yeah.
so that, no, but I mean the bid, but there has to be an invoice to come off for that bid.
Well, once you decide, they can write that out, can't they?
That's easy.
But our meeting is March 28th.
March 28th.
Okay.
So that'll be,
you're
that's
close to
D-Day.
the end.
That's
why
D-Day.
I'm telling
If you come back to us with nothing,
No,
that's
it'll be here.
exactly what you're getting,
It'll
is
be-
nothing.
That will be here along with the capital improvement.
That's why we had a fire truck that,
March
that's why we didn't get a rescue truck when the
is
chief
our
wanted one.
budget.
We asked him,
Workshop, right.
bring us back 3
I'll
options.
have it to you.
He brought us back one. He didn't get a rescue, or a new grass rig, he didn't get the new grass rig, and we ordered it. Because he didn't wanna do the homework, he said, this is all I got, this is all, no, it's not.
This is what Google
There's
told
not,
me. Yeah.
and, you know, so we, so yeah,
I guess
so
we're
just,
probably not getting the FOIA
and, you know,
It's not that none of us are not saying we don't
Right.
work hard.
and I
But
think.
we don't wanna be in
Well, I know,
debt,
especially
Right.
looking at
Talk
it.
about the
No, that makes
person for
sense. I
an hour,
appreciate
not
that.
the
Yeah.
person for an hour.
No way.
They've already
I
overgot
know
that.
there's
It won't
only
stop.
so much comes to you. When I interviewed those guys the other day, I said, we may have to do this in
Yeah,
sections,
in phases, yeah.
in phases.
Well, it might take us this year's budget, next year's budget, and the following
Possibly.
years to finish it up.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to. I added up like 5 pieces.
Mary, this guy's gotta get ice on his knee.
Like, how can you tell?
It's a little swollen.
We'll see what they come back.
No, okay, all right, we're,
Okay.
okay, and this meeting's adjourned, everybody okay with meeting adjourned?